Would you believe these plain candles could outshine every decoration on your mantle? I'm going to show you how to turn ordinary candles into a breathtaking nativity centerpiece. The decoupage detail looks like cracked glass, and then add some gilding details. It might just steal Christmas. Hello, my crafty friends. I'm Donna from Mason Creations, etc., and welcome to my channel. If you're ready, my friends, let's make a mess. These are some battery-operated flickering candles. They are in glass and are made with real wax. They're perfect for this project. I'll be showing you how easy it is to add gilding to your air-dry clay pieces, so make sure you stick around. First off, I'm going to wipe them down with alcohol. This will remove any dirt, debris, or fingerprints. You want a nice clean surface to start off with. I'm going to brush on Polyvine's multi-surface lacquer in a dead flat finish. I'm using the dead flat finish because I want to remove the shine. It's specially formulated to create a durable bond on slick, non-porous surfaces such as plastic, glass, ceramic, and metal. That bond acts as a gripping layer that allows paints, decoupage papers, or transfers to stick more effectively. Without it, top layers may chip, scratch, or peel. For best results, I'm going to let this dry overnight. Notice that the glass isn't clear any longer. The multi-surface lacquer removed the shine, which gives the glass a frosted appearance. If you plan on having a section that you want to see through, make sure to avoid the lacquer in that area. Removing the shine is what's needed to give your paint good adhesion. This and all the products you're going to see me use today came from decoupagenapkins.com, my wonderful sponsors. I'm going to decoupage this rice paper to all the candles. When I'm done, this is going to look like cracked glass. The sealer I'm using is so shiny it will still look like glass when I'm finished. Right now I'm getting my paper measured and cut to size. I left a little excess paper at the top and bottom of the candle. This will get removed after it dries. Where the two edges meet in the center, I'm going to tear the paper instead of cutting it. You always want to tear your rice paper or napkin instead of cutting it. A torn edge is much easier to blend than a sharp cut edge. I'm using a water brush so I can tear the paper easily. A water brush has a cartridge that you fill with water and then brush it on the napkin or rice paper. The water dispenses easily, so this is really convenient. I'm aligning the two edges so there is almost no overlap. Rice paper is very translucent, so where the edges overlap can be noticeable. The smaller the overlap, the better. My crafty friend, Nikki J, asked me to do a candle using air-dry clay to make a nativity scene that included the stable. Here you go, Nikki. This video is for you. I'm using Polyvine heavy-duty wood varnish as my decoupage adhesive today. You can use this product as a varnish and an adhesive, which is true for all the Polyvine formulas. It works so much better than the most popular brand of decoupage glue. It's not a glue, so it doesn't go on thick and lumpy. It's a varnish, so it dries crystal clear and will never yellow. The turquoise item that you're seeing me use is called a cup cradle. It's made from silicone, and I rely on it a lot. I use this anytime I'm working on something round. It keeps my piece from rolling away from me. Because of the excess paper at the bottom, I wasn't able to set this on a flat surface. I set it on a jar that was smaller than the candle, so the paper would hang over the edge. I did the exact same thing with the other two candles. I set all three of them on a paint jar to dry for a couple of hours. I'm using a medium grit sandpaper to remove all the excess rice paper from around the edges. I'm sanding in a downward motion. This cuts the paper clean right at the edge of your base. I'm going around the entire thing until all the excess paper has been removed. Make sure you don't go in an upward motion. That could lift your paper. I wiped off all the dust after sanding, and now I'm going to give them a coat of polyvine heavy-duty wood varnish in a satin finish. All of the polyvine varnishes are wonderful sealers, but the heavy-duty wood varnish is my preferred one to use. I love the sheen it gives, which is moisture, heat, abrasion, chemical and stain resistant, as well as food safe. It's water-based, so there is no strong smell or harmful fumes. And this is how you get an amazing shine with this varnish. I let the first coat dry for an hour, and now I'm sanding it very lightly with a fine grit sandpaper. I'll wipe off the dust and then give it another coat of varnish. You can repeat this process as many times as you like. Each time you'll get a little bit more of that flawless shine that polyvine heavy-duty wood varnish can provide. Make sure you allow it to dry for a full hour between coats. This process is what will make my background look like glass when this project is complete. Where are you all watching from, my crafty friends? Let me know in the comments. I just love to see what cities and countries all my friends are watching from. I'm filming from sunny Las Vegas, Nevada in the United States. Are you excited about learning to gild? That's coming up soon, so stick around. This is such a cool mold. It's by Redesign, and it's a complete nativity scene. There is a stable with Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus, along with the three wise men, angels, and animals. I'm going to make them with air-dry clay. After they dry, let the gilding begin. I'm using my favorite, DOS clay, to make some embellishments for this project. DOS clay is so easy to work with, dries quickly, and has very little shrinkage or cracking when dry. It's perfect for making molded pieces. After pressing the clay into the molds, I'm scraping off the excess with my palette knife. And then smoothing the clay out with some water. Then I'll put them in the freezer for 20 minutes. Freezing the clay makes it rigid so they just pop out of the mold easily. No tiny little limbs will break off. If you're enjoying this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. And why not share this with a friend? Thanks for doing that. You won't want to miss any of the new projects coming up, so don't forget to subscribe. Fresh out of the freezer, watch how easily these just pop out of the molds. No delicate little pieces will break off. They are frozen solid, so I'll need to let them thaw for a few minutes, but not in the mold. Make sure you remove them from the mold right away as soon as you take them out of the freezer. While they're thawing, I take that time to smooth out the edges and remove any little pieces of clay that shouldn't be there. While they're still somewhat frozen is a great time to do this. They're still hard, so touching them won't destroy all that beautiful detail. They do thaw quickly and will be ready to glue to your project within a few minutes. I'm only doing one section at a time. The clay needs to be glued to the candle while it's still wet. If I make all the clay pieces at once, they'll start drying, which will make them crack when I start bending them around the candle. I'm going to use Aleene's tacky glue to add my molded clay to my piece. I need to add this while the clay is still wet so it'll conform to the piece as it dries. This is the best glue I've found for attaching wet clay. If any glue seeps out from under the clay, I'm removing it right away with a clean, damp brush. I'm also pressing down all the edges of the clay very delicately to make sure they're all connecting with the piece. Because you're watching this video today, decoupagenapkins.com is going to give you a 10% discount on one order That's a minimum of at least $50. This is a one-time discount and is good on your entire order when you use the code MASON10 in all caps at checkout. You can also use this discount in conjunction with the free shipping on orders over $75. So now you can get that mold you've been eyeing or some additional rice papers you've been wanting. Even if you've been ordering from them in the past, you can still take advantage of this one-time 10% discount when using the code above. I'll leave all this information for you in my description box below. A little heavy and keeps slipping, so I've added a piece of painter's tape to hold it in place while the glue dries. I'm adding the clay embellishments to this large candle in layers. I needed to let the stable dry overnight before I could add Mary, Joseph, baby Jesus, and the little lamb. Since I'm gluing them to dry clay that is porous, I won't need to tape them down. They won't slip. If there are any gaps between the clay and where you're adding it, use a dry Q-tip to lightly press down the edges. The Q-tip doesn't leave a mark on your clay. DecoupageNapkins.com has such a great selection of napkins that you can purchase one at a time. They carry many other craft supplies such as rice paper, paint, clay, molds, and a great selection of polybind products. Over 9,000 products and growing. They are wonderful to work with and will send out your order fast. You'll receive free shipping on orders over $75 and special bonus points for orders over $100. Subscribe to their newsletter by entering your email address and you'll receive 10% off your next order. This discount is separate from the Mason 10 discount and may be used on a separate order. They are truly your one-stop shop for craft supplies. Make sure you check them out. I'll be leaving links for all the products I use in my description box below, as well as more information on the previously mentioned promotions. Please note that any of these promotions are subject to future changes. I'm going to let all this clay dry overnight, and tomorrow I'll begin gilding all of this clay in beautiful gold leafing. All the clay is dry now, so it's time. But before you can do the gilding, you need to add some glue that's made for this process. I'm using Polyvine Metal Leaf Size. This glue goes on white but dries clear and very sticky. This is what will adhere the gilding to the clay. It dries in about 15 to 20 minutes. Once it feels sticky, you're good to go. I'm going to very carefully paint all my clay embellishments with this glue. I'm being careful not to get any of it on the background. Wherever this glue is, the gilding will stick. It's a water-based product, so it cleans up with water. If you get any on the background, wipe it off right away with a wet Q-tip. I'm making sure to get the glue in all the details and inside any cracks or crevices. You're going to see me use a lot of different tools that make life so much easier. Things like a turquoise cup cradle to keep round objects from getting away, a bow dabra that makes bows in a snap, a water brush for separating rice paper and napkins, nail art brushes for fine detail work, palette knives, a rhinestone picker, and others. All of these items are listed in my description box below in my favorite tools section, just in case you'd like to check any of them out. Okay, my friends, here we go. All the glue is dry and sticky. Time to add the gold leafing. I'm using gold metal flakes today, but it comes in 6" by 6" sheets as well. Both work exactly the same. You just get larger coverage with the sheets. I'll leave you links for both. The sheets come in gold, silver, and copper. The metal flakes come in a lot of different blended colors that are gorgeous, as well as silver and gold. Now, of course, this is not real gold, it's imitation leafing. However, it's going to look spectacular. I'm grabbing the flakes with tweezers, and sometimes I just grab them with my fingers. I'm laying it on the sticky clay and then brushing it down with a paintbrush to smooth it out. Wherever you lay it down, that's where it's going to stay. You're not able to lift it back up and reposition. If it overlaps another piece, that won't hurt a thing. In fact, you end up overlapping quite a bit of the flakes in order to get total coverage. If there's no glue on it, just brush it off. It only attaches to the sticky glue. After I add the flakes and brush them down, I'm going to grab a stiff brush, which will knock off all the loose edges. This will really smooth out the gold leafing. Then I'll take a soft, dry cloth and wipe everything down to remove all the tiny flakes from all over the candle. If you notice any gold flakes that didn't wipe off, you can use a piece of fine grit sandpaper to remove them. Just do it lightly. You'll want to do the gilding over a piece of paper to make cleanup a little easier. If you have a fan blowing in your craft room, turn it off. These little flakes will get everywhere if there's a breeze. I test all the products that I recommend in my videos. I won't recommend anything that I haven't used myself and prefer. If I'm recommending it, you can bet it's a great product. Each product will be listed in my description box below and will have a blue link to make it easy for you to find. Any of the links I provide are safe for you to click on. I'm checking my piece to make sure there are no white spots where I may have missed the gilding glue. And there are a few. No problem at all. Just add a little more glue in that area and let it dry for about 15 minutes. Now I'm adding more of the gilding flakes in those areas. This time I'm just using my stiff brush to smooth it and knock off the excess flakes. Then I'm wiping the candle again with a dry, soft cloth. I need to make sure there are no loose flakes anywhere on them for the next step. I'm going to give the gilded areas and all around the gilded areas a coat of my heavy-duty wood varnish. I'm going to make this come to life with a little antiquing, and I need a shiny surface to do that. But first, I'm wiping them off again to make sure there are no stray pieces of gold flakes anywhere on the background of the candle. If there are, they'll become part of the finished product at this point. I'm not getting the entire background, I'm just getting around where the clay meets the surface of the candle, and then feathering the varnish into the background with thin, almost dry strokes. I don't want to leave a lump that will make a mark when I give these candles their final coat of varnish. I'm using Folk Art Antiquing Medium in the color Wooden Bucket Brown. I'm putting some in a little paper cup and then adding some water. I don't want a dark antique. the runnier you make your antique, the more of it will wipe off the surface. I'm brushing my antique on the piece, going over and around all the embellishments. I'm doing this in sections and wiping the antique off with a soft dry cloth right away before it can dry. Because of the gloss finish, it will wipe off the surface and stay in all the cracks and crevices, showing the details of the mold. Antiquing gives your embellishments some depth and dimension, making everything look 3D instead of flat. What a difference it makes. Everything just comes to life now. I'm going to let the antique dry for a couple of hours, and then I'll give all the candles another coat of varnish. This time I'll get the entire piece, going back over the gilded areas to seal my antique, and another coat over the background areas to add one more coat of fabulous shine. I let the varnish dry for an hour, and now I'm going to add some golden shimmer. I'm using redesigned decor wax in the color Eternal. This adds some really pretty shine. I'm putting a small amount of the rub on my finger and rubbing it together with my thumb. Smearing it around like that prevents a large amount of your product ending up in one place. I'm just grazing over the high areas. This will add some great highlights. Once it dries, I'll buff it to a golden shine. I'm going to use the Eternal Wax Rub to add a gold rim to the top of each candle. This will give it such a high-end look. I'm putting a little bit of product on a sponge dauber. The flat end of the sponge is great for doing edging. I'm holding it flat against the edge of the glass and going around the candle's edge. I'm not pressing hard, just touching the edge lightly is enough. I let the dry for a couple of hours, and now I'm using a soft dry cloth to buff it to a rich shine. And look at that background. It doesn't even look decoupaged any longer. It looks like glass again. Don't forget, all of the wonderful products I'm using today can be found at my favorite place for craft supplies, decoupagenapkins.com, and I'll leave you links in my description box below. I put together a Christmas playlist with some other tutorials you may enjoy. Click the picture on the right to be taken to that playlist. I'm so happy you were here with me today, and thanks so much for watching. I can't wait to see you all next week. I'm working on a new Christmas project with you in mind. You can subscribe by clicking my picture in the top right corner.